Hello there gang, Devere here with another Past Blast, in which we'll be playing a little bit of Red Faction, the original Red Faction, developed back in 2001 by Volition Software. So let's have a quick look at our options. First and foremost, there is an exterior launcher that you'll have to run the first time you play it. A few video settings, audio options, controls which are fully rewindable, of course, which is always something we like to see, and that's kind of it. So let's dive on in straight away, I think, just with a new game. And I'll skip the training.
Mars. I always thought of it as a romantic place, a planet of mystery and adventure. Came here 6 months ago thinking it would be an escape from Earth. I wanted some time to think, to figure out what to do with my life. A year in the Ultor mine sounded like a great way to straighten myself out. Man, was I a fool. Life in the mines is hell. I haven't had a minute to myself since I got here. You're jammed 8 to a room, time-sharing your bunks. Conditions are barely livable, and the guards are everywhere. Ultor doesn't care if we live or die. We're at the breaking point. And then there's the plague killing off miners left and right. When the guy next to you dies before your eyes and your turn could come any minute, it freaks you out. No one knows what causes it or how to cure it. Or at least the miners don't know. Someone named Eos is putting up pamphlets in the barracks, claiming that Ultor is responsible for the plague. The pamphlets urge miners to be ready to revolt against Ultor. A lot of miners are muttering, but nothing's come of it yet. As bad as things are in the barracks, they're brutal down in the mines. You spend 10 hours drenched in your own sweat in the Enviro suit, grinding away at rock walls. The guards make sure you work the whole shift. They enjoy their work way too much. You get out of the driller after your shift's over and all you've done is dig yourself in a little deeper. Don't know how long I can keep doing this.
Second work shift has ended. Miners return to barracks.
Come on, Parker. Shift's over.
So the graphics are definitely showing their 2001 origins, but
Hey, where do you think you're going?
there's a reason for that, which we'll discuss very shortly.
It's been a long day.
It's about to get a little longer, mine scum.
Just let me go, or else.
You threatening me? Yeah, well, threaten this. Stop right there.
So now we've got the come here.
Disturbance in mine sector M4.
I believe we
Code
should have
yellow
a pistol.
alert.
Excellent. This is very much inspired, I would say, by Half-Life, which was released a little while earlier, of course, a few years beforehand. And this is definitely classic FPS in the sense. But what this made this game quite outstanding for a time was the destructible environments, which we shall see a little bit on very shortly. Like Half-Life, it does take a little bit of while to get going. There's a good example of it coming up now. So now we've got some remote charges, we can start blowing holes in things. God, there's thought there was a weapon over it to pick up. So it is definitely pretty much straightforward classic FPS.
Hey, get over here. We're with the Red Faction.
Good for you chaps.
We're heading to the Red Faction base.
Just tell you, it does take a little while to get going. Oops, I'll get shot on him. He survived that, really?
Try it, miner.
Well, just my sloppy shooting at the moment, so I can't be too unhappy.
Miners, this is Eos, leader of the Red Faction. Our time has come.
I'll try and get this.
Workers in Mine M4 have started the rebellion. They're fighting and dying for you as I speak. Find the Red Faction members among you. Join us and strike back at Ultor.
Tron.
All miners are ordered to ignore unauthorized announcements and return to their barracks immediately.
We'll try and keep the pace up here. The animations aren't too bad for the age of the game though, in all honesty. So you could go looking around where all these various areas lead off. Ah, great, we've got the rocket launcher. Good selection of weapons, in all honesty. Fairly decent. Like Half-Life, of course, you are in an environmental suit. So that allows you to take some damage to the suit and some damage to your health. So that's why you've got the 2 health bars up the top left. We do have a silencer for this weapon. There are a few stealth elements. Now, this is currently only in the 1027. The game doesn't support new modern high resolutions and widescreen out of the box, but there is a patch for it. Pure Faction, which I'll try.
Hey, come with me.
Oh, right.
They're gonna get off Mars and back to Earth. You help me reach the shuttle and I'll make sure they take you along.
Right. You're probably going to get killed anyway, so... So anyway, I'm shooting in a moment. Yes, you'll need it for modern widescreen resolutions. Had a feeling that was coming. You will need to install Pure Faction. But as usual, I'll put a link in the description down below for you. See anything? I wish I had a bit of... wish there was a way to change the crosshair colour or size so I could see. I keep losing track of it.
What time you got here?
Oops, so you don't want that, Tears. Obviously a pistol is not a sniper rifle. And this is old school shooting, as you can see, FPS shooting. The crosshair is just more of a rough indicator. Did I get him? That's it, job done. So yeah, if you want to go around try to blow things up or make passageways through, you can do that with the destructible environments. So they are very sort of basic looking environments, especially early on in the game in the mines here. Walk up these hills. It's quite a touch of realism there. Obviously walking up hills slows you down.
Better run!
Story-wise, yeah, it's fairly predictable. Oh, so have we got any other weapons yet? Yeah, we've got the rocket launcher still. How many we've got for that? Oh, good, good. Stun prod's pretty much useless. Oh, come on. How many bullets does this chap need?
Red emergency in mine M4. Security level 1 response required.
I'm going to rush them, it's going to be easier.
Red Faction!
And of course there's loads of the usual pickups and health packs and kits laying around. So it is traditional FPS of the era. Also a lot of the time in the, there's different ways to tackle different parts of the level. It's fairly openish in some ways. Certainly more open than Half-Life was, although it is a linear game overall. Obviously I didn't want to fall into that grinder back there. So can we sneak by this chap? Well, we could, up until he started shooting at me. There's also a rather nasty bug still in the game during one of the parts later on with a submarine. How is he? He is absolutely nailing me for. Which apparently is down to the FPS. Is he still getting me? What the hell? Right, I'm going to have to rush this. Now he can't see me. I'm on point blank on top of him. Enough of that, mate. So yes, that's rather the bug where apparently it's related to your FPS. Which way do we want to go? Is it this way? Or processing. Let's try that way. Actually, no, we just probably come from... This is probably the other way around if I'd have gone through that doorway. So yeah, definitely some quite large levels. But yeah, you'll probably want to install the Pure Faction fix just to sort some of these issues out. Outside of that, it's running pretty well. This is as I'm playing this on Windows 10, game for 2001. Shooting for the most part is it's a little bit basic by today's standards, honestly. That nearly caught me.
Remember every dead miner, every injustice, and strike back. The Red Faction will lead you to freedom.
Stop right there.
Must shoot out windows and things.
Let's get him.
Yeah, bring a stun prod to a gunfight.
Don't do it, please.
There's no point in doing that because he will start shooting. There's the other thing, it's kind of old school jumping at times. You can't sort of jump from point blank range.
Code Red Emergency in Mine M4. Security Level 1 response required.
Store looks probably locked, would I guess. Yeah, I thought it would be. So yeah, other than that real issue, there's the submarine bug, which has been there forever. And in fact, if you want it in a modern resolution, you will definitely need to.
Help you. I'm a security technician with Altor. I have my own reasons for hating them and wanting to help you. I've been watching the riots on security monitors. You're the only miner from M4 to make it this far. Be careful, Parker. Altor's rushing forces in to block the mines and keep the rebellion from spreading.
So yeah, it's for what it is, it brings a lot of game to the table, in all honesty. Probably don't want to fall down there. Other things like you can climb fences and blow your way through using the deformable and destructible environments. Big levels, often on multiple ways to get around levels. It's voice acting's pretty good all throughout. The music's good. The sounds are decent. So yeah, for all in all, other than the fact it does look very sparse by today's standards, to allow for the destructible environments, though some of the later levels do get a little bit more complex, not massively so. No, they're going to be in here, I reckon.
Need help here.
I seem to be double tapping shots randomly. That's not always me, that's the mouse button at the moment going a little bit. Right, let's. Oops, I didn't want that one, I wanted that one.
Attention, all personnel. Mine M4.
Even that's quite nice, a little. The overlay on the rocket launcher actually showing the APC thing here I'm fighting. So this is proper old school, this is side glitching, ouch, and then I hit the rock at the end. So there's a lot of nice little touches. So yeah, for the as such, it stands up pretty well. In all honesty, it's certainly not a bad game. It is just sometimes that the shooting is a little bit. It definitely shows its age on that front. But if you're after an old school FPS with a lot of game in it, and it is mostly FPS shooting, there is some vehicle sections as well later on, just to add to the depth, but it's definitely, you definitely get the feeling of the Half-Life inspiration to this game. Because of course the Red Faction series as such were quite a bit of an odd bundle. They never really, none of the stories particularly interconnected from any of the other games. The next one. Wow, that's a hot date. Ouch. Oh, I don't know what he's got. I don't know what that dropping weapon animation, because they don't actually drop their weapons, they just sort of.
Attention,
They still
all
have it.
personnel. Mine M4 has been sealed.
That's the shotgun. There you go. There's a bit of clumpy weapon switching. You can find individual keys if you want it. And we've also got the flamethrower as well. So yeah, we'll conclude our dealings here, I think, gang, 'cause this is getting a bit more active now. So it does take a little while to get going. Let's see if we can't... a flamethrower that actually works in a video game. That's a rarity in itself. Don't know why I tried to pick his weapons up when he was still on fire. So yeah, we'll conclude our dealings here, gang. Red Faction, the original. A pretty good FPS that does show its age some ways in regards to the gunplay. But destructible environments, never be anything behind any of these things. Let's put one on each side. See if there's anything hidden. No, not to worry. But yes, so anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch the video, gang. I hope you found it useful and entertaining in some way. And as ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to let me know you're alive. And I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.